What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Pay. You probably know me from TikTok. And today I got a very special video for y'all. This is something that's been on my mind for a while now, especially in the last 10 years, which is weird for me to say because I'm only 20, but in the last 10 years of me listening to hip hop. So I'm gonna just dive right into it. And I think a lot of you guys may be able to relate to this, or who knows, maybe I'm just a weirdo who's on his own. But I've always had these feelings of hypocrisy when listening to and being a fan of hip hop. Listening to and loving music and people who push a message that I wouldn't support, but because they make the music I like, I continue to support them, by streaming their music or listening to their music or being a fan. And this is something a lot of people experience with pretty much any celebrity and celebrity culture today, but specifically, I'm talking about rap and how it makes me feel. Now, recently, these feelings have really resurfaced heavily, especially with the whole Kanye West and the White Lives Matter t-shirt and the new release of Lucky's album Flawless Like Me. And I really enjoy that album, but I'm not a day one fan of Lucky. I've only been a fan of his for the past 2 years now, but I've always been somewhat hip to him and his rapping style and the type of music he makes. And Lucky has rapped about substance abuse his entire career, he always has. And that's not a new thing for me to listen to, but as I've gotten older and I've seen more things, it just kind of starts to hit different, especially when you can see the effects that they've had on him or that they've had on other people in your life, seeing other people go through addiction or hearing stories about people, that go through addiction. And it just always makes me feel horrible when I listen to his music, because even though I'm not providing him with drugs or telling him to continue to take drugs or encouraging him to take drugs, I feel like when I listen to his music, I'm kind of enabling it. And I don't know if a lot of other people feel this way, but I definitely do. By listening to and continue to support his music, I feel like I'm in a way endorsing his actions, even though, of course, me and anybody else who considers himself a fan of Lucky would love for him to, not or to end his substance abuse and get right mentally. None of his fans wish any harm on Lucky. I don't think anybody who's truly a fan of him is oh man, I would love for Lucky to continue suffering through his abuse problems. I don't think anyone's saying that. And I'm not saying his fans are the reason for his addiction. I'm just saying that when I listen to his music, I feel like to a certain extent, I'm co-signing the behavior. And I wouldn't want that for someone that I really enjoy. And I kind of feel this is the reason why I fell off of listening to one of my favorite rappers, Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD was one of my favorite rappers in 2018, 2019 before he passed away. I loved his music. I loved Goodbye and Good Riddance. But after about a year and a half of listening to his music every day and all hours of the day, I just couldn't do it like I used to. And I'm not saying I didn't like his music anymore, or it wasn't great, or it just didn't hit the same. I just couldn't listen as often as I did because I felt a form of guilt listening to his music and seeing the effects that drugs were having on him and that substance abuse was having on him. It's kind of like watching something slowly melt away and there's just nothing you can do about it. And it's truly sad to see that from one of my favorite artists, especially when you see that as, a young person. A lot of people, who liked Juice WRLD, that was their first experience of really seeing somebody breaking down from substance abuse. And in a way, it felt like I was enabling it by streaming the music and supporting the music or buying merch or any of that stuff or following him on social media. And I know, again, that has nothing to do with me. His actions have nothing to do with me as a fan, but just deep down in the bottom of my gut, I couldn't help but have that feeling. So I ended up at a crossroads of loving his music, but feeling like I was an enabler and having this heavy guilt. Because in no way, shape, or form would I endorse anyone in my life having to struggle with substance abuse. Yet, because I love Juice WRLD and I love Lucky and their music, I kind of make an exception and feel like I am giving a little bit more wiggle room than I would to somebody who's my friend or something like that. And obviously we saw how everything turned out with Juice WRLD. And I'm not trying to speak anything bad into existence for Lucky or anything like that. But the truth is the lifestyle he lives is very dangerous. Like that's not up for debate. It's just the truth. And it's a major concern that I have, that in a way I'm contributing to this lifestyle. And again, obviously, technically I'm not. It's just how I feel about what I'm choosing to indulge in and what I'm choosing to support. And Lucky's lyrics in his new album would be really disturbing if they were just spoken or written instead of being used as song lyrics. But because they're used as song lyrics, they're overlooked. You know, he has a bunch of lyrics like, you know, I get so high I hide it from the camera, so smart. I'm on drugs just like my auntie. I mix the love with drugs. I can't get enough of codeine in the artery. Like all these lyrics, and there's more. That's just a couple. There's plenty more. All these lyrics are kind of just like disregarded because it's like, oh, well, you know, it's art, it's music, it's just how Lucky raps, it's just how he's made music for a long time, and it's true. But I just don't think I don't think it's reasonable to downplay it. And I'm not saying that you should stop listening to Lucky. That's not what I'm saying in this video. I'm not saying I'm gonna stop listening to Lucky. I'm just saying that I have this strong feeling of guilt when I listen to and enjoy music like his, when it's essentially a cry for help over a trap beat. And I think that as a hip hop fan in this modern era, this is just something that I have to go through personally, even though I'm always wishing the best for people and I listen to people and I feel like, or I'm always wishing the best for people I listen to, but I do feel like this is a sentiment that a lot of people can really relate to and get behind. You know, I feel like a lot of us are feeling like to a certain extent we're contributing to this behavior, even though obviously they're their own people, they're their own person, they can make their own decisions. These artists aren't, you know, robots to the will of their fans. They can do whatever they want and they can make the decisions they make. And no matter how many fans come up to an artist and say, man, I hope you get better, I hope you do this, I hope you, it's all on them. At the end of the day, there's still that feeling of guilt, and I think a lot of people are having that. And I think I want to just come on here as a content creator and say I can relate to that, and I can say that it's normal. So if, you know, you want to put down people's music from time to time because of that feeling, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think that if anything, more people need to start looking at this music like, damn, man, like it's great, it sounds great, I love it, but this shit is sad, bro. It's sad. It really is. And I know that's the staple of Lucky's music, but it just really hit me on this album specifically. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm getting older, maybe I'm soft, maybe I need to stop listening to rap music, maybe I'm just too soft for the culture. But I feel like at the end of the day, there's a basic sense of human empathy in everybody, and I hate to see, or no, I don't hate to see, but I hate to hear stuff like that from people who I really, really enjoy, whose music I really, really enjoy. I just hate to hear that type of stuff. And it's, you know, really, really prevalent in hip hop today. And it just gives me a sense of guilt because I'm supporting it. So I don't know, maybe you guys can't relate to this. Maybe I'm just going off on a tangent about nothing and I'm a weirdo, but maybe you can. If you can, leave a comment, explain why, tell me what you mean. Tell me an experience you've gone through where you listen to an artist and you're like, man, I feel like I'm enabling this. I feel like I'm, you know, maybe potentially part of the problem, even though there's nothing directly that one singular fan can do. So I think that's going to be the end of the video. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Let me know, maybe I'm tripping, but let me know how you feel about this. I'd greatly appreciate a like, a comment, a subscribe, all that. But have a blessed day and be safe.